25 years old, my companies do over $4 million per year. And that's cool. But why does that matter? The truth is, all these numbers you see online, like $5 million, a lot of it's BS. We really want to focus on profit. And so in this video, I am diving into how do we maximize profit in a business to make sure that we're actually making money and not just out there pushing a big number on our social media. People don't fail at real estate because they suck. They fail because there's too many ways to succeed. That's why I suggest you focus on the most important skill in all of real estate, which is finding deals. I'm Ruud-Johnson, and in this podcast, I share the exact steps I've used to source 400 deals by age 24. This will allow you to do three things: control your deal flow, make unlimited income, and build your empire as an off-market operator. Scale means more profit. Scale doesn't mean more revenue. And that's the main concept I'm going to be diving in today's show. I work with so many people that are sourcing off-market deals, commercial, residential, flippers, developers, and everyone runs into the same issue of where they're going, like what their true intent is for their business. And that's a question you need to answer, because we all get caught up in this social media game of, oh, I need to scale from 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 3 million, 3 million to 4 million. And I do believe that if an entrepreneur, if an organization isn't growing, there's no staying the same. There's no neutral, right? The stock market's always rising. Prices, asset pricing around the country is always rising. Your business needs to be growing. And so the show is mainly about, what does growth really mean? Does growth mean a bigger team? Does growth mean more deals done? What does truly growth mean? And I got myself into a really bad situation several years ago, and I'll give you the example from my own life, which is I was about 20. Going on 21 years old, and I had been in the off-market acquisition game for about 3 years, sourcing deals primarily in Seattle, Washington. And we had an office in Renton. For you guys that are in the area on Benson Road, nice big office, about 3,000 square feet. And we had recruited people. We had a big sales team in office. We had the setups, the desks. We had a bullpen. It was very Wolf of Wall Street, a bunch of guys in their 20s hustling, getting deals done. And we scaled beyond $200,000 a month, because that's what I thought what you did. You just kept doing more deals. You kept adding more dollars out of just brute force to your top line. And what ended up happening is we ignored our bottom line. And a lot of entrepreneurs do this, where you get to $100,000, $200,000 a month, $50,000 a month, 3, 4, 5 deals. And you get to a point where you sit there and you go, I'm doing all this work. I'm running a massive team, taking on substantial financial risk with the office infrastructure, any kind of fixed cost. And in real estate acquisitions, it's a pipeline business. In a pipeline business, you have fixed overhead and you have variable revenue. You don't have recurring revenue. So with that comes substantial risk, right? And I sat there and I was making, probably on a good month, this is probably back in 2017, 2018. And I was making, $7,500, $10,000 a month, which is good money, but that was on a $200,000+ a month revenue point. And my first business partner and I sat there and we said, this is not the way to do this business. And at that point, we kind of decided that our partnership wasn't going to survive. We just didn't see eye to eye. And I had a good business coach of mine at that point tell me, hey, scale doesn't always mean more revenue. Scale means more efficient, and sometimes it just means more profit, depending on where you want to go. And that was the problem I had with my acquisitions business. We were primarily wholesaling single family at the time, before we got into flipping or anything else that we do. And my end game was just do more deals. And that's a dangerous place to be, that just do more deals place, because of the fact that in business, if you don't have a set target you're aiming towards to rally your team around, to rally yourself around, you get in this point where you just start scaling operational complexity without more profit. And you eventually sit there and go, what am I doing and why am I doing this? And so, one thing I really want you guys to get clear on, I'm going to kind of take you verbally through an exercise that I love, which is what my business coach took me through. It's called the Commander's Intent Exercise, and it really helps outline for your team and for yourself where you're going and why. And so the first part of the exercise you want to do, you want to start with what. Like, what do you want this company to be? I like to go 2-3 years in advance. Like, what do you want this business to be? And with an off-market acquisition company, you have to get honest with yourself. Is it that you want this to make, you want to do 100 deals a year so you can make $200,000 a month? Like, what's the what? Do you want to be the biggest wholesale real estate company or off-market acquisition company in the country, biggest in your state? Do you what's the what? Not the why. We're going to get into that in a second, but what's the what? And so for me, with my real estate company, the what, I didn't know the what to start off. I had no idea what I was doing, what was I building? And until I could answer that, I didn't know really what scale meant. And so what my what on the real estate side is to build a machine that does consistent deals to build a team. Okay, so what is it? So that's my what. I want to do enough deals to build a team where I don't have to be in the driver's seat in the day to day, but we can still continuously do deals. Why do I want to build that? Well, the why is so I can have a self-sustaining acquisition business. So all my profits from my other companies, my other ventures can be dumped into off-market real estate, whether I'm flipping that, developing that, or building a portfolio. That's my why. Okay. So my what is, what am I building? My why is, why am I building that? So I'm building a self-sustaining real estate business, staffed and scaled, so that I can place my profits from other businesses, other ventures, and this business into again, wealth building vehicle, which is real estate. Because, you know, as much as it's said that millionaires and make their money in real estate, that's true. But a lot of people that I met that are super successful, they make their money in business and they protect it in real estate. And it's super true that what you do can make you rich. What you own makes you wealthy. So running a company, taking a salary, doing house flips, that can all make you rich. But wealth comes from owning assets and desirable assets. And so that's my what and why. So once you have your what and why, then we got to talk about key metrics. And this isn't a to-do list. The key metrics is not a to-do list. It's what has to happen day in, day out for your business to head towards your what and your why. And so in a real estate company, that could be an abundance of lead flow. So that means enough lead flow every single day where you're constantly having to hire more people to chase down the lead flow that you have. That could mean hiring, training, and managing a good team. That could be having simple and straightforward infrastructure and a tech stack that your team can use. That could mean having good meetings, right? Really productive meetings, which I'm going to make an episode about later. That could mean that you are consistently training and sharpening the axe. So things that have to happen on a day-to-day basis by your company in order to move towards your what and your why. And then the next part, the most important part, is how will I know? And that's what a lot of business owners don't do well. They set goals, but they don't set a way to measure against those goals on a weekly basis. And so the why part of this is, the how will I know part is, how are you going to know that you are on track and you are hitting those key metrics? Okay. So this could be for the abundance of lead flow daily. We're getting at least 10 leads per day per acquisition manager. We're getting a ton of, we're constantly hiring, training, and managing team members. To track that, it could be we're hitting our KPIs. Okay. Then you're going to go into your team goals section. And the team goals section of your company goals, I like to do it quarter by quarter. So for quarter 4, let's say your team goals were, you want to do $300,000 in revenue, so $100,000 or more per month. You want to have you want to hire a salesperson, and you want to explore a new marketing channel. That could be your quarter 4 goals. And then same thing there. How are you going to measure against those? And you want to make sure you document that so you can measure against those on your weekly team meetings. So to rehash this, guys, as we scale, the Commander's Intent exercise gives us very good clarity on where we're going, how we're going to get there, and why we're doing it. So we start with the what, then we go to why, then we go to key metrics, which is your kind of day in, day out company functions. We go to how we know we're accomplishing those, quarterly goals, and how we know we're accomplishing those. And when you fill that out, you'll start going, and I do this a lot with my inner circle guys, and they'll start going, man, Cole, like, I didn't really know why I was doing this. I thought I always wanted to do more deals, because I saw someone on Instagram doing more deals. And that's the powerful thing is you'll avoid the situation where I was, where we were doing a ton of deals with a ton of overhead and a ton of stress. But why? What direction were we heading in? Right. And if you do just genuinely want to run an off-market acquisition company and that's what you want to do to make your money, that's awesome. But have an understanding, okay, then how do we increase profit? Because if the goal is just to run this company to make money, we need to maximize profit, right? And so how do we maximize profit? And I put out a good show last week on creating free deal flow. And that's when you get really nitty-gritty about, going from a hustler to operator architect and learning how to run a business at a scale that's profitable with the team. Because what I don't want for you guys, and my whole podcast programs, everything I do is around building a business, building a real estate business, not just building a hustle or another high-paying job. Because to be honest with you, with the stress that comes with this business at scale and a fixed revenue business, if you're not going to try to do it the right way, you might as well just keep or go get a high-paying job, because it will be, and all the losses are on you at that point. So if you're listening to the show and you take one thing away from this episode, it's just go through this exercise I just verbally walked you through, the Commander's Intent exercise, and get very clear on what your current business is to you, why you're building it, and how you're going to get there and how you're going to measure against that. That's what good, responsible business owners do. And they stop doing busy work and they focus on the high leverage work that actually moves the needle. That was a lot, right? That's a verbal exercise I just took you through that I want you to actually do. Don't just listen to the podcast and mentally masturbate. What I mean by that is you have enough information. It's time to take action. So take what I gave you in this episode and implement it. It's helped me massively in my businesses. Understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're going to get there day in, day out, and how we're going to measure against that and our goals. So we'll have alignment and buy-in throughout our team, organization, and people. Because again, people are what build companies. So if you're listening to the show, as always, a like, a share, and mention, a DM means the world. I do read your responses. I like hearing positives and negatives, how I can improve the show, guests you want to see on the show, things of that nature. So if you do listen on Apple, on Spotify, wherever else you consume content, it could be YouTube, a subscribe, a share, a like, a comment means the world. And as always, which is also very, very true, especially in 2023, you are truly only one deal away.